who you are to include us. We don't know who you are. And that's what happened in this particular event. So we received a Crime Stoppers tip that, hey, they're really selling drugs on an app called Grindr and Scruff and Tammy. So our detectives last July started that investigation, and voila, we discovered exactly what we were told, that they were selling dope, a lot of street dope on these dating apps. So at the end of the day, as we looked, it was a shock to us that they were openly advertising. Can you believe this? They were openly advertising they were selling dope on dating apps. They had code word like Tina. I found that interesting. That's my administrative assistant's name, but Tina didn't mean Tina, the administrative assistant to the sheriff. It meant Tina was methamphetamine. They would use emojis like ice cream cones and birthday cakes. They would talk about party. And then when you would hit them up, when you would swipe left for meth, and you would talk to these folks, guess what? They would offer to sell you drugs, and that's what happened. So between July, when we began this investigation, and when we wrapped it up, we found criminal charges for 68 different people. 68 different people. Now think about that. 8 of them are still at large, and we certainly need your help locating them. We served 3 search warrants. And you think, oh, street level dope. And there's those that still call it low level, nonviolent dope. Low level, nonviolent dope. Well, for those dinglings, what is this? It's a firearm. It's a serious firearm that they were using to protect themselves. And as we seized that dope, our detectives put their life at risk while serving search warrants and stealing guns and seizing guns, 2 of which were stolen. That's right. So the next time somebody tells you it's low-level, nonviolent dope, tell them, just gag me with a spoon, stick a fork in my eye. Every week I see deaths by drugs. It's not nonviolent when it's killing people. It's not nonviolent when people are shooting each other up. It's not nonviolent when they need a piece of equipment like this to protect their stash from other people. Yeah, and they tell you, oh, these folks, they're not serious. They're not real serious criminals. Yeah, how about this? Here's the criminal histories of the people we arrested. This is the criminal histories of the 60 people that we arrested in this operation. They're not new to the system. You see, they didn't get the message that this is just a mistake in their life and they're going to be okay. No, they didn't get the message. So when people are out there telling you this is not serious, it's serious. When they're brazen enough to have a criminal history like that and openly sell drugs on an app that anybody, to include children, can have access to, that's a problem. That's a problem. And if you are one of those that are slow walking this, is not dangerous, not violent, no big deal, you can see why some people think it's okay to openly sell illegal drugs on an app, because who cares anymore? Well, we care. Florida law cares. We'll put you in jail. Now, you can trot on out to California, and I think they'll let you do that. They don't seem to care about much that's crime-related out there. And their good people are being victimized every day. So we have 68, 8 we're looking for, 11 of them are receiving federal assistance. That's right. You are working hard every day to pay your taxes. And these folks are getting some of your tax money while they sit at home and sell drugs on a dating app. We brought 156 new felony charges and 71 misdemeanors to these folks. But let me introduce you to some of the people. Now, you know you want to see this. You would be lost without my cards, okay? Here's Gator Clizo. Gator is his given name. That's not his nickname. We got him for 4 sales of drugs. We bought from him 4 times. One was a trafficking amount of meth. He claims he's a scrapper. He lives in the Kayville area. He has 26 previous felony charges, 12 misdemeanors. He's been arrested for everything from possession of drugs to kidnapping and robbery. We served a search warrant at his house. Now, this guy's only 56. He looks like he's 156, but he's only 56. We served a search warrant at his house, and we arrested 13 people there. Did you hear me? 13 people. That's a lot of dopers in one house. He's been to prison 5 times, okay? So for all you do-gooders that think we lock people up and they didn't mean it, this guy had 5 trips to prison along with his 26 previous felony charges. He's a bad man. And if he's out in society, he's going to do things like, among kidnapping and misdemeanors, he's going to openly sell drugs on an app that your children, as young as whoever can operate a cell phone, can see. Then there's 57-year-old Alan Tyson. We were trying to find him, and we were working with some of his family members, and he said, "You tell them if they want me to come find me. I'm not coming to them." He had 3 previous felony charges, 4 misdemeanors. It took us all of an hour to find him. You know, he's not Houdini. He didn't hide very well. Then there's Anthony Ballard, convicted felon, 46 years of age. That's right. We seized 14 firearms, 2 of them stolen. He has 17 previous felonies, 26 previous misdemeanors, and he has also been charged with a 7-year minimum mandatory meth charge. He's been to prison before. Everything from misdemeanors to violent aggravated batteries with injury. So how about John Davis? He's known as Smurf. He sold us some ecstasy. 92 grams of MDMA, which is a 3-year minimum mandatory. He's reported to be a known gang member. He's got 32 previous felonies, 14 misdemeanors, multiple trafficking charges. He's been to prison 3 times. He's a bad dude. He's from Winter Haven. Now let me stop to say this, because I'm going to say it a couple of times. With these criminal histories and these times that they went to prison, they're still bold enough to sell drugs on an app to just whoever swipes left. Then there's David Keynes, 4 previous felonies, 5 misdemeanors. We arrested him for a 3-year minimum mandatory. He's been to prison. He's from Mulberry. Then there's Jamie Acevedo. He's 35, 8 previous felonies, 4 misdemeanors. He was arrested in 2016 for meth, spent 5 years, and he's in jail again. Adam Tremley. He told the undercover that he had to get a medical marijuana card. He said, you see, if you get a medical marijuana card, you don't have to buy that expensive marijuana one time. He said, then you go buy your street marijuana, which is much cheaper, and you put it in your medical marijuana tin, and you have your medical marijuana card, and then it's all legal. They don't bother you. Newsflash, we bothered him. Yep, that's right. He was coaching us how to use the medical marijuana law for his benefit. He's still at large with his medical marijuana card and his medical marijuana tin, and I suppose illegal marijuana in it, but we're looking for him. If you can help us, call Crime Stoppers. Now, this has been a pretty remarkable event, you have to admit. It's the first time we've ever done an investigation like this. They were totally bold and totally brave. But what I'm going to tell you next, you're just not going to believe. You can't even make this stuff up. So let me set the mood for you. We swiped left. We talked to this person. I'll sell you some marijuana. Our undercover detective arrives at the door and he knocks. A fella opens the door. The house is dark except for mood lights and candles. We said, we're here to buy the marijuana. And he said, well, it's down the hall in the bedroom. So our undercover detective said, you know, I'm really uncomfortable about this because we just have mood lights and candles. So he says, you know, I'm checking out the rooms the best I can clear them in an undercover capacity as I walk down the hall and into a bedroom. And there in this bedroom is a man laying on his back. And another person, let's just say, engaged in erotic conduct. Did you hear me? Follow me now. The detective looks and there's pornography playing on the television and candles all around. And the guy laying on his back while engaged in erotic activity is petting a puppy, a Pomeranian. He says, I'm here to buy the marijuana. The other fella, John Panzarella, is preoccupied at the moment, engaged in inappropriate conduct. He says, hey man, it's on the table. Just take it and leave. And he continues his inappropriate conduct while the guy on the bed is petting the puppy. So we took the marijuana and left. But we returned to arrest John Panzarella for delivery of drugs to us. You can't make this stuff up. He didn't even stop long enough to complete the dope deal and collect his money. Just take the marijuana and leave. Yeah. Now I ask you, what do we got going on here? How have we arrived where you think it's safe enough to sell drugs on an app to anyone, to advertise wide open, to not stop your doing the wow thing long enough to complete the sale? This is the most bizarre thing we've seen in a while. And we see bizarre stuff every day. But with that, I share with you a warning for the future. We're not going away. If you sell your drugs on the app, know one thing. My detectives, who are simply the very best in the business, are going to swipe left for meth, and then we're going to swipe you up and put you in the county jail. That's our promise. Are there any questions?
Can you define the terms you said, ice cream and birthday cake? What are
ice cream, birthday cake. They use emojis, or they talked about partying, and then you would call them up and said, hey, what kind of party? And you would start in a conversation, and that's when they would agree to sell you the meth.
And was anybody actually looking for a date, or is it just this is like the new drug vehicle that
No one hit us up for a date. It was all about selling drugs.
So it's not a legitimate website?
It is a legitimate dating website. They were just embedded in the website with these code words: Tina, cake, party, and you knew that's the people that were there selling drugs on the dating website.
Did they use their real names and faces on the app?
They used their real faces. I'm not sure about their names. I suspect in some circumstances they did. But when we got there, it was like showtime, but we didn't expect, like XXX showtime, but we got that too in the operation. Is that crazy? As we say in my world, that's crazy stuff. Just crazy stuff. Just another day at keeping law and order in Polk County. See y'all later.